Hi, my name is Layla. I'm 14 years old now, and I played Tamika in School of Rock when I was 9.
Woo!
Okay, just do the math. Hi, my name is Madison Lagares. I am 15 now, and I played Chanel and I understudied Tamika when I was 10, 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Gianna. I am 18 years old. I played Chanel understudy Tamika on Broadway when I was 11 to 12, and then I toured as Tamika from 12 to 13.
Hi, my name is Pietra. I'm 18 now, and I was a swing for 6 roles, including an understudy for Summer and Katie, from ages 10 to 12.
Hi, I'm Jordan Cole. I am 16 now, and I was 11 when I did School of Rock and I played Lawrence.
Hi, my name is Gavin. I'm 18, 19, sorry. And I was 12 to 13 when I was in School of Rock, and I was originally a swing, and then I was basic for a little bit as well.
Hi, my name is Hayden. I was 13 years old when I was in School of Rock. I swung for Billy, Mason, and James.
Hello, I'm Taylor Caldwell. I am 22. I was 14 and 15 when I did School of Rock, and I was Chanel and understudy for Tamika.
Yeah, so it actually does sound like it was so much fun. And actually one of my favorite things about the show, like I saw it 7 times, and every single time I was cracking up. Like it, it still felt fresh, it still felt funny. It's genuinely a very funny show, even though it has its deep moments and its like heartwarming moments. So my question is, so were there any like particular memories of like messing up or maybe breaking character that you guys want to share?
I tried to never break character, but I felt like I was I was really never in character, from being totally honest. Like I was just being myself up there, and so there were moments that I'd fall or just totally mess up, but it was still a lot of fun. I remember I countlessly rolled my ankle pushing the desks to the back of the stage, and I would be crying during intermission, I can't go on, and then I just go on and do it anyways. Just being dramatic as always. But yeah, I guess I would say I don't know.
No, so I remember there being a lot of funny stories and character breaking moments, but my favorite memory, which was probably the most embarrassing at the time, but right now I just look back and laugh at it. It was probably when I went on as, I was on as Chanel, and we were one of the backup singers, so we're constantly shaking our head. I mean, it's a rock show, so we're constantly whiplash. It's all the time just shaking your head. And so I wore a wig in the show. It was a big, really cool wig, and it was dyed blue towards the end. And the last song is probably the song where you have to kind of shake your head the most. And I remember I had a new hairdresser that day, and so she put the wig on, and it felt fine at first. And I go out on stage towards the end of the show, and we're doing our little la la las, and obviously I'm shaking my head, and my wig actually falls into the audience. It fell into the audience, into the lap of a man, and I'm just sitting there with my wig, just me and my bald cap, and he gets up. Obviously, he's already standing up because it was a fun song. But so he hands me back my wig, and I'm like, thank you. And I'm holding it for the rest of the show. And before bows, I had to run and get it pinned up. It was all messy. It was crooked, but as long as I had the wig on and I wasn't in my bald cap, I was okay. That was just probably my favorite. I was crying afterwards. I was how does that even happen? I was crying. But now that I look back on it, it was such a funny moment, and everyone was laughing. I was like, okay, it was funny. But yeah, there's constant like little things that happen here and there. But looking back at it, it was like one of the fun memories, and I loved it.
I also wore a wig. It never fell off. Came very close to falling off a couple times, but my hairdresser was really good at making sure it didn't fall off, and he would yell at me if it did, so he would tell me to run off stage. And I'm trying to think of a funny memory. I know one from tour. I completely forgot the song, If Only You Would Listen. Like completely, like the second act one. And I'm sitting there with Merritt, and I'm just staring at him, tears rolling down my face, and he just looks at me and starts singing the song with me. And it was such a beautiful moment because I love Merritt. He's such a great person, and he was always there for us. And he always talked to us, and he was always so kind. So it was really sweet to just have him like grab my hand and be like, it's okay, I'm here with you, we're singing it together. I don't think I had any like moments like that for Chanel because we got to just like dance and like just be little kids. I did scrape my hand really, really bad on it was a curtain, but there was like concrete on the curtain to make it look like it was bricks because it's supposed to look like a school. And we're pushing the desks off. And I think there had been like some type of collision that it knocked me all the way into the curtain, and the curtain just scraped my entire hand and arm. And I was very upset, but I still went on, so.
There were definitely like a lot of, or not a lot, but like a few mess ups, I guess, in the time that I was there. But I guess what I want to talk about, because I was a swing, was just kind of like the last minute moments where I had to all of a sudden go on for a role because somebody had to call out sick. Because the thing is that like everyone, they were all kids, and sometimes it's hard to make the call on Broadway about whether or not you're well enough to actually perform to the best of your ability, because of course everybody wants to perform all the time. But there were a few scenarios, one in particular where the girl who was performing as Summer at the time thought that she could perform, but then it turns out that 15 minutes into the show, she realized she actually couldn't perform. And I heard an announcement over the loudspeaker backstage, little change of plans, Della Pietra is going to be going on as Summer. And I was like, what? So immediately, like 5 people rushed into my room. I quickly have to get changed to my clothes. People are like pulling out my hair, trying to get everything like situated. The assistant choreographer was like going over the notes with me because I literally just learned Summer like the week before, and I had never performed for her before. So I just like kind of ran on stage, we swapped places, and I performed as Summer that night. And then I remember one time you drank too much bubble tea before a show. Gianna got a really bad stomach ache, so then I went on for Chanel. So like little things like that, or having to go on like during intermission, stuff like that. So that was kind of the most exciting moments for me, just because it was super unplanned and the adrenaline was just rushing, and yeah, those were probably like my most cherished moments in School of Rock, just because it was so exciting.
Mine's not really funny, or it's more of a mishap than funny, but I don't know what's worse, either what I'm about to tell you or falling into the thing. I did not fall into it, but no, I did not, thankfully. But I don't know if this is any worse. So at the end of the show, there's a 10,000-pound bandstand that circulates, and every day in rehearsal, whenever we like practice, everyone would always say, step super far off the bandstand so you don't get run over. I got run over. My foot got run over by a 10,000-pound bandstand, and while it was turning, and it kept turning while my foot was under it.
Wow.
And I'm gonna stop there so I don't make anyone, vomit. No, but there were 3 guys, 3 like really buff guys, and they came with a giant crowbar, and they stood on it, and they were jumping on it to like try to lift up the bandstand. And thankfully, like after like 10 like huge guys were like standing on the crowbar. They lifted up just a tiny bit to get my foot off. And I remember they carried me up the stairs, and I was looking back, I was hysterical crying, and I remember seeing everyone's faces. They were like, is he gonna die? They were staring at me like dead in the eyes, and they were like, I was like, help me! I was like going up the stairs, and like, sure, it's not really funny, but at the same time, like, that I like can't believe that happened to me. But I don't know what's worse. And no, it did not break. It was, I don't know how. I think, we went to the doctor, we got a, I don't know. And then there was that other time where I got like, remember I got a black eye? I had a black eye once. But yeah.
That was kind of bad. But I have a few. There's one time, so another part of the set was like these giant panels that were kind of attached to the wing that sometimes you have to turn as like you like left the scene. So like the set could move. So they weren't in place, like the set really couldn't move. And then I was exiting one of the scenes, and it was mine and Diego's job to turn the panel at the time. That was Lawrence. And like in the previous shows, like we would really slam the panel. Like it was a huge panel. I was like, this thing's gonna break. So I tried to be more careful with it and like just kind of ease it into place. But then it didn't click. So then the set tried to move, and it was like breaking. Like it had to stop the show because like there was like wood chips falling. Do you remember that? I was like, I don't know whose fault that was. Like, it was mine. It was totally not Diego's. But I couldn't say that. I was like, and then there was another time, which was worse. So there's another part of the show where Mason has to run on stage to like, he forgot his laptop, I think. Yeah. And it's just like a one-on-one scene with him and like Miss Mullins, and it is like, I guess a pretty important part of the show, but I missed my cue to run on stage. Like, I was like talking to the Guardian Todd in the wing, and I just could have sworn I was gonna get fired. I don't think I was supposed to be in the show. I thought it was like, but yeah, I like missed my cue, and I left Sierra Vargas like standing on stage for the whole, like it had to have been like 10-12 seconds, which is like, it's 10-12 seconds, but it's a long time. She was just like standing there, and it's like trying to pretend like she was supposed to be there, and there wasn't something going wrong, and like it was awful. I thought I was gonna get fired. That was so, that haunts me. Every time I think about that. That also took the blow a little bit, so I wouldn't get fired. But yeah, so and then Taylor has another thing for her. I'll let you talk about that. I made the same fatal mistake as Taylor.
Can I just add something really quick? We were moving the set all the time. Like little kids, 9 to like 14, moving these heavy like set pieces.
The desks.
Yeah, everything. I don't think people realize that it wasn't like, oh, it's a motor. Like, no, we were doing it.
And the lock on the big desk, that if you didn't lock it, like something would happen. Like, you know that big desk? And you like turned it and you locked it. If you didn't lock it, the guy jumps off of it and it could like, my worst nightmare. Not
There were a
that's
lot of things that we were in control of that we probably shouldn't have been.
And things like definitely went wrong with like sometimes the pit, which allowed like couches and beds or whatever to like come up. Sometimes would malfunction, and we were always told to like stay away from the pit because if you fall in, that's like super dangerous, obviously. But there were like a few times where the pit just stopped working, so we had to like pause the show and try to get that to work again. There was like this one time where the bed just never came up, and we all were choreographed to like jump on this bed, which wasn't there. We all did this like bizarre hop because we didn't really talk it through, and yeah, just things like that. Anyway.
Yeah, there was one show in which the pit didn't work at all.
Yeah.
It was at the beginning of the show. The crowd started booing because it took so long. It was really bad. We were all like very concerned. But yeah, we did the entire show without the pit. We just got everything around around it. I don't know how they did that. That was incredible though. I was perfect, I don't know.
I guess I'll start off with what Gavin was talking about. So I had this mini speaker that Evie gave to me for my birthday, and it was a suction cup that you stick on your wall. And I put it on my head, but it was smack dab in my forehead right before we're about to start the show. And I'm like not thinking about it. We're playing card games. I've left it on my forehead for like 5 minutes. And they're like, all right, everyone line up. So I take it off my forehead and I have this big purple bruise on my head. So like the whole entire time, everyone like, we're doing this show and they're just like staring at my head. Like, Alex was like, what is going on? And apparently it happened to Gavin too. So yeah, that speaker is retired.
No, so it was a different speaker. I had like the same one at my house, and like I put it on my forehead, not like on my own volition, like I like did it to myself. And like obviously the purple bruise came there, and I was like, oh my god, like they're gonna kill me. So I come in and I was just like, oh, like, sorry, David, I fell and hit my head. And he was like, no, you didn't. You put that stupid speaker on your head. But he knew, he was telling me it before. So that's why I was gonna bring that up. He called me. Yeah,
it was not good.
It was like the circumference of this bottle. So it was like this big purple thing before him.
Yeah, but there was always something happening. Like time to play, that's the biggest chaotic number in the world, and something was always going wrong. Like we were slamming into each other's desks, we were like running into each other. The scene where like all the parents come in and find out what we're doing, I feel like we broke character almost every single time. Because I forget which parent does it, but they like scream or something, and every night it would be a little different. So it's like whenever there was a parent scene, whenever we were with Alex, it was just like always some improv in there. So we were always laughing, giggling. Something was going wrong because you put 10 and 12-year-olds in control of like doing things. But yeah, it was always an eventful time on stage. You never knew what was gonna happen.
Well, that's kind of like another thing, like about how like we didn't have Alex, but we had Justin and Connor, and just like all the doobies, like
on stage. You never knew what was gonna happen.
Well, that's kind of like another thing, like about how like we didn't have Alex, but we had Justin and Connor, and just like all the doobies, like it was so hard not to laugh because they would just improv sometimes, and they were the funniest people, and it was so hard because like we like would not know what he would do next. Like there was this, I forgot what scene it was, but he would go crazy, like he like ran around. I don't remember what scene it was, but and then one day like he went crazy and he like fell or something. And it was so hard not to laugh because they just came every day with something new. And his goal was to make the audience laugh, but sometimes like we broke character and we were like, uh-oh, like we're not supposed to be laughing at this. But and also like kind of in time to play real quick is that I'm in this like thing that I come out in like with a Ziggy Stardust costume. And one day I fell out of it and I like came out too early, and they like while Summer and Billy were having their scene, and then I was supposed to come out, but like they didn't take me. It was a whole mess. But Time to Play, I agree, was chaotic. It was something else.
But the adult cast also like tried to mess us up. Like, they were purposely trying to make us break character. I remember there was this, I don't remember who it was at the time, but whoever was playing Marcy's dad at the time, like during that scene where all the adults rush in, I was on for Marcy that day, and he was like, oh, what are we gonna do with you? Are we gonna have to put you back in the closet again? And I was like, what? Are we losing the character? But yeah, it was just totally chaotic. And, yeah, chaos was just like very common. Again, because like I was a swing this one time I went on, like
And I guess I was rushed onto stage so quickly, I didn't actually realize, I was never told what role I was going on for. Or like, maybe somebody told me in passing, it just didn't like, I don't know, it never like, it kind of went in one ear and out the other. I remember like going on stage for Horace Green, the opening number, just like standing there and being like, oh my god, I have no idea what I'm on for. And I just kind of like looked around me and I was like, process of elimination. Oh yeah.
Speaking of like the adult cast members, like it wasn't just like the kids who were family, like the adult cast, like most of them played our family members, and it was just the whole cast in general. Like it wasn't just the kids that we like got along with, the parents. Like I don't know if it was just me, but my Lizzie, I think was my mom, and like you know she felt like my second mom because she like took care of me like on stage, and it just felt like not just the kids but like everything was just like a big family, and even the crew too.
Yeah, so I kind of